one foot in front of the other. Left, then right. Left, then right. Now, I mentioned to you my Uncle Paul, and he's an absolutely incredible Marine, incredible man. And I was so excited. I was really, really pumped up. I wanted to be this amazing Marine with the sole purpose, especially as a young man. He was somebody I look up to, but when I was young, I wanted to make him proud. That was one thing that I wanted to do. And unfortunately, right around the time that I was heading up to boot camp, he was retiring from the Marine Corps. I found out that he had been diagnosed with terminal cancer. I don't remember the logistics of it. I just remember it was not pretty, and his chances were not high. And one of the final messages that I remember him sending me off with was just telling me how tough it's going to be. He's like, man, it's going to be tough. Like, you want to go be a recon Marine? That is absolutely no joke. And the one thing that you need to remember is when the times get tough, all you need to focus on is putting one foot in front of the other. Left foot, right foot, left foot, and right foot. And he was correct. My sole mission, everything that I wanted to do, was to head off to recon school. I had another cousin that he was a pretty famous recon Marine. The History Channel did a documentary on him from back in Desert Storm. Pretty incredible man. And that was what I'd always looked up to was that level of that caliber of person was my Uncle Paul and my cousin Chuck. Two amazing men, and that drove me to want to be a recon Marine. And so that was my mission. That was my goal. I went out to Parris Island, and I found out really quickly that left foot, right foot, that mentality really helped me keep things in focus. I had this huge task, this big thing that I wanted to do, and if I could just remember left foot, right foot, it helped me through. And then School of Infantry, same thing. After that, I got to try out to go to recon school. I got to do an NDOC, went over to Norfolk, Virginia to a pre-recon school. Made it over to ARS, which at the time, back when I went through in 2002, there was two schoolhouses, and the one that I went to, Amphibious Reconnaissance School, was right on the coast of Virginia. It was a pretty amazing schoolhouse. I was sad to see it go, but nonetheless, I found that left foot, right foot really paid off there too. It was a huge, daunting task, and if I could just keep putting one foot in front of the other, I found my way to the end. And I had a lot of help along the way, don't get me wrong. But left foot, right foot, that paid dividends. And then I got stationed at 1st Recon Battalion. Shortly after that, we found out we were going to do the initial invasion into Iraq. And getting deployed, crossing the border from Kuwait over into Iraq in 2003. Left foot, right foot, and that mentality of just what's the smallest victory, what's the smallest item I need to worry about right now, what's the task I need to do immediately. That mentality paid huge dividends. It was a massive thing for me. And after I got back from that initial invasion into Iraq, we started doing a workup. I found myself, I got invited to go to Scout Sniper School, Marine Corps Scout Sniper School. And I don't know if invite's the right word, but that is in fact what it was. I got asked if I wanted to go, and I went. And I actually ended up dropping out of sniper school. My first time through, I failed out for stalking. It was absolutely gut-wrenching for me to have to drive back to the barracks. Fortunately, I didn't show my tail too much, and I got invited back again. The instructor said, hey, if you think you can do it, if you can pass stalking, we'll let you come back. And I got to go back. Fortunately, I passed Marine Corps Scout Sniper School, and then went back to Iraq again, 04-05, did another deployment, and we were always going, always on the move, always doing something. And it wasn't, anybody that's been over it's not like the movies make it out to be. And I know I'm preaching to the choir to the vast majority of you. We did some stuff though that was just mind-numbingly stupid, and at the time I didn't realize it. Now, reflecting on it as an older man, actually, I'm grateful. I'm going to hug our old CO, Captain Kinsley. Just, I love his mentality, and knowing that he was in charge doing what he did was absolutely incredible for us, and the way that he took care of us. And he always believed that if we were going to stay static, that's when you were going to get in trouble. So we went. We would do missions all the time. I got far more missions that we did that I'm not proud that we did, But I'm so happy that we did them in retrospect because it kept us moving. It kept our minds active. It kept our minds engaged. And while I didn't appreciate it at the time, we're definitely going to take a little piece out of his big playbook as we talk about conquering the day to day and everything that we're going to do, everything we need to do. Because everything that I did, it all got broken down to weekly wins. What can I do this week? What can I do today? And those little daily wins created a huge win on the back end. And so that's going to be our goal. That's going to be our task. In order to become a victorious veteran, we got to break it down to a small, tiny little daily win, regardless if it makes sense, regardless if you see the end outcome. God knows I didn't, and you probably did a bunch of stuff. If you think about your time in the military, everything that you did, everything that you achieved, everything you accomplished, you didn't do it all at once. Sure, yeah, you had a goal, but the thing is you kept moving. You kept putting one foot in front of the other. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. Conquer today and then repeat. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to talk about right now. We're going to get set up to get some of the smallest possible victories we can. And these things should feel so tiny, so seemingly insignificant. And that's the plan. If it seems bigger than that, you probably went too big with this. We're going small, tiny little goals to win the day. And if you're not sure where to start, I just want to set big picture too. I know this is episode 3, and I think some people had asked about my background in the military, what I've done, and I hope this shed a little bit of light on it. But know that the vision, my hope for this, is to help inspire you to discover what it is that's going to help you win the day today, what it is that's going to help you find victory in your life. And for now, though, I'm going to ask for a little bit of trust. And let's just identify the one thing. What's one thing that brings you joy? One thing that if you just stack some victories with this, you know that it would lead to some cool things done over time. So if you think about it, the man that moves a mountain simply needs to move one stone at a time. That's it. All we need to do is move one stone at a time. And that's where we're going to identify is what's the one stone, because you can do that. You've done far bigger things. And all we need to do now is identify what's the one stone, and the smaller the better. The smaller the better. If the goal is to move this gigantic mountain, yeah, there's going to be some boulders. We got to move some boulders. We got to move some rocks. And then there's going to be some sand we have to move too. But all that sand has to go too, because if we don't get it, we didn't in fact move the mountain. So just be okay with moving literally anything right now. We're going to identify small goals, and we're just going to start to stack some victories. We need to stack some victories and build some momentum. And so this could be anything. Is it going to the gym, reading a book, swimming, walking, running, playing an instrument, learning a new language, something constructive, something that's going to better you and it puts you into a good space. And you know what I'm talking about. I probably didn't mention the one that hits home for you. I know for me, I was just talking to a buddy of mine, Cody, and now I think for me, mental clarity happens when my body is completely exhausted. Everything mentally starts to come in tune. And so if I can just start to stack some victories daily by exhausting myself physically, then everything else is in a good spot. So for me, that's my target. That's my one thing. That's my catalyst that everything tends to stack off of. But for you, that's likely going to be different. And remember, we're not running a marathon tomorrow. So if once you identify it, once you know what it is, it's not. If you did, I mentioned learning a new language. If that's going to be something you do, well, you're not going to learn Mandarin tomorrow. You're not going to learn French tomorrow, Spanish tomorrow, whatever language you pick up on. But you can download the app tomorrow. You can identify 5 minutes of an exercise that you need to do that's going to get you well on your way, done over time. That's where victory is going to happen. And so this can be truly anything, but it's not winning everything tomorrow. We're not conquering everything tomorrow. And then be okay with not knowing where it's going to go, with not knowing the end outcome. Right now, we just want action. And so for the rest of the week, I'm just going to identify what's that one small thing. And then for the rest of the week, we're just going to stack victories, stack victories, stack victories. And it should be tiny. It should be small. I once read about this one guy, he had the push-up challenge. And his whole thing was just do one push-up, literally one push-up. That's it, one push-up a day. Because he knew that if you got down to do one, you're more than likely to do more. But it became super easy to win that day. Because even if you just did the one, you were good. And if you were crashing out of bed and you were just done, and then you realized, I didn't do it, Well, it was so simple. You didn't have to go anywhere. You could drop down, do that one push up, and you just conquer the day. And that's what we're talking about. Small, tiny little thing that's going to allow you to conquer the day today and win the day. And that's all we want. Conquer the day and then repeat it tomorrow. Don't worry about what the goal is going to be in a month. Don't worry about what we're going to do in 6 months, a year. Right now we want to create some momentum, and we got to do that by stacking victories. So identify what that one thing is and conquer today. Build it in, talk to a buddy, figure out what it is for you, and conquer the day today. Smallest, tiniest little thing. Hit the gym, go for a run, go for a walk. 5 minutes of one of those things is all we're talking about, something small. Next week, I'm going to bring a lot more context of some other things, but for now, conquer today and then repeat it tomorrow. Until next time.